Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and today I've got a quick sort of video to show you, and it's not really a character but more of a concept. So I get asked quite a lot about how Incinerate crits, and holy shit, Incinerate can crit, what's going on? Basically, as most people, or a lot of people know these days, Incinerate can crit, or could always crit, it just has a base of 0 crit. So it would only ever crit if you had a Diamond Shrine or, let's say, Assassin's Mark on the target. These days, though, you can get Crit Incinerate by simply add a Critical Strikes gem to your setup, which is a maximum of 2 crit, base crit, as well as being an Assassin, which gives you 0.5 base crit per power charge. So with 7 power charges and the Critical Strikes gem, you can reach a total of 5.5 base crit to then scale all of your spell crit off of, which puts you roughly in between most spells. It's a pretty heavy investment on the passive tree and on the actual ascendancy itself as well. So whether or not it's worth doing is pretty up in the air at the moment. I've been messing around with this character, and as a disclaimer, it is pretty shit right now. The character itself, it is really badly geared, and not too high level, and I'm still not sure where to take this character as far as things go. As you can see, I have 55 crit, fully buffed with my power charges, and about 23,000 DPS on LMP. I can do the lower levels of content somewhat safely and actually get by, but it's a bit of a struggle with the gear I have, and I'm really not at all sure if Crit Incinerate is worth it compared to just regular Incinerate. At this stage, it seems to be more of a novelty than anything else, but I haven't explored it too much yet. I'll show you what I'm working with so far though. This is the character here, a level 80 Shadow Assassin spec in Ascendancy. So as I said, Assassin is absolutely required to make this build work because Deadly Infusion gives you 0.5 critical strike chance per power charge. As I said, with 7 power charges, that's 3.5 extra. On top of Critical Strikes gem, goes up to 2, but right now it's 1.8. As well as that, Unstable Infusion gives you 10% chance to gain a power charge on non-crit. That basically keeps up your power charges all of the time with Incinerate, so that's really nice. And that just makes life pretty easy. But it's the combination of Deadly Infusion and Critical Strikes that lets it work. Now, as far as my passive tree goes, I've just kind of gone all over the place, getting a whole bunch of crit, life, and supposed to be Mind Over Matter, Eldritch Battery eventually, but my gear is pretty terrible. If you actually want to see what the characters are looking like, I'm going with Dual Consuming Darks. So that lets me convert 100% of my fire into chaos, and the purpose behind that is to save a link on Life Leech by just using its Zero Promise for Leech, and to save a link on Fire Pen because you don't need it since we're chaos. So that's the sort of purpose behind the character. Not sure if it's good or worth doing. I'll give you a passive tree regardless if you want to try it. Besides that, I'm going with Face Breakers for a bunch of crit multi, some Shite Helm, some Shite 5 Link, a decent enough Amulet, a decent enough Elrond Ring. I am wearing 2 Elrond Rings for basically a free Incinerate 2 mana cost. This one is completely shite. Fairly shite belt, fairly shite boots. So the gear's nothing special yet. The gem's only level 18 as well. And the concept is all I really wanted to test and to make sure it worked. Another thing that's pretty interesting is Elemental Focus is fairly amazing for Incinerate. Even for the Chaos version, 46% more elemental damage is quite a lot of damage. Now my tooltip doesn't look impressive in town because without power charges I have a measly 12 crit. With power charges I go all the way up to 55. So in-town tooltip really doesn't mean much. You're going to have to go out into the real world to test this sort of stuff out. I've been running Temp Chains on Blasphemy or Assassin's Mark depending on the situations, and of course Anger. So that does give you a nice tooltip boost as well. On top of that, Crit Incinerate opens you up to the use of a Diamond Flask, which just about doubles your crit chance, or lets you roll your crit twice, and you have 2 charges on Diamond Flask now as well. So that's fairly handy for DPS boost during bosses and all that. That's about all I'll say. Basically, I just wanted to let you know, Incinerate can crit. Do with that information what you will. If you want to make a crit Incinerate build with 2 Void batteries, make a full Chaos one, a low life one, God knows what, the world is your oyster. As I said, I'm not at all sure if it's actually worth doing, but play around with it if you really want to. So, have yourselves a good one in Perandus League, and see you next time, guys.